He's a great passer, second in the voting last year for Rookie of the Year. And Jeffrey Denberg of the Atlanta Journal and Constitution told me he talked to Alexander Volkov, of course, former Atlanta Hawk player that does a lot of translating for Sabonis, and says Sabonis worked out as hard as he ever has in his career this offseason and is in the best shape of his life. So we may see a very much improved Sabonis, who hobbled around on one leg most of last season and had a very impressive year on that one leg, I might add.
The man at the helm of this Portland Trailblazer outfit, of course, is P.J. Carlosimo. He was a coach who built his reputation at Seton Hall on defensive-minded teams that played control and intelligent basketball, and his commitment to defense has certainly carried over to the NBA. This is a very good rebounding team and a very good defensive club. Joe Forte, Ron Olziak, and Scott Foster are the officials assigned by the NBA for tonight's game. The Hawks with their second road excursion of the year. Opening night was a defeat in Miami. We'll see if they can turn it around here at the Rose Garden, where they won last year. In fact, the Hawks swept the regular season series from the Trailblazers, winning in this building by 3 and taking the Blazers by 2 at the Omni. Both games were played in February. The tip in the air, and it's controlled by Wallace, but into the hands of Ty Corbin. And we're underway from the Pacific Northwest. Glad to have you with us wherever you may be across the Southeast tonight. Bob Rathman, Mike Glenn, and Dave Neal from the Rose Garden. Here's Leitner. Inside, Mookie. Nice dish to Mutombo. Sabonis blocked it, but Dikembe gets it back and slams it home.
Well, old saying on the playground, you block the wrong one, as Mutombo gathers himself and dunks that one back in.
Kenny Anderson. It's the screen from Robinson. Right back to Clifford. Inside Sabonis. The sweeping hook is good. We talked about his Rookie of the Year numbers last year, Stinger. Kind of an atypical rookie to be breaking into the league at age 30. A wealth of international experience.
Absolutely right.
Mutombo short with it and into the hands of Rasheed Wallace. Georgia Tech alumni meeting before the game with Kenny Anderson and John Barry and Evando Newbill. Played together for Bobby Cremins. Here's Robinson from the baseline.
But this time they did not talk about the Duke Blue Devils. So
that's right.
A different conversation from there.
Here's Mookie going to Wood. That Wallace got a hand on it, but it rolls over to Smitty. Blaylock draws the contact, and Kenny Anderson has the game's first foul.
A little surprised that Kenny Anderson would make that foul. Mookie Blaylock has really been struggling with his outside shot. And Kenny Anderson really bailed him out that time. But sometimes things like that can get a guy back on track. Send him to the free throw line, let him make some layups, and his confidence can grow, and Mookie can find that shot and get the Hawks off and running.
Well, you see that field goal percentage at 21-4. It won't stay in that neighborhood very long.
No.
I have a feeling Mookie is set to break out of it. He takes a lot of pride in his game, and I don't think anybody felt worse about the first 2 defeats than Mookie Blaylock.
Right.
Anderson can't shake free of Blaylock. Plays to Robinson. Sabonis up and in. Arvydas with 4, and the Blazers and Hawks are even at 4. Smitty left alone for 3. Wallace kicks it out to Anderson. Anderson works to the corner. Fires. Misses, and over the board to the Hawks. Lenny Wilkins returning to Portland. He was a player coach here, 1974 through 1976. Blaylock on a bounce to Smitty. Out to Leitner in the corner. Now Wallace picks it up. Christian to the hoop. Score it, and a foul. Boy, a nice looking drive from Leitner.
Get it all. Here you go. Take a look at Christian Leitner right here. Just takes his time on Rasheed Wallace. Has a nice little leaning jump hook. And he gets that one to go.
Through the first 2 games, Christian Leitner is at 12 of 13 at the line.
Look at those stats.
Glorious. He's tied for 6th in the NBA in scoring at 25-5. Hawks throw up some pressure after the made free throw. Anderson wiggling free. Now Portland settling into its half-court game. Ryder inside Robinson. And Mutombo got a piece of that one.
See, he negates some of the presence of that big front line that you talked about, Bob. You still can't score around that lane even though you're big with Mutombo on the floor.
Corbin. Now it's Leitner. Again driving on Rasheed. And it will go over to the Blazers on the offensive foul against Christian.
Well, Leitner kind of painted himself into a corner that time and really had no room to operate on the baseline. And very easy defensively for Rasheed just to step on the line and cut him off.
7-4 Atlanta. Ryder and off the hands of Wallace.
Credit that turnover to Mutombo again. Just the presence, and the big guy was ready to block that shot. And Ryder threw a fastball out of bounds.
Blaylock. Now Mutombo comes across. Corbin. That one's in play. Didn't go over the backboard. Mutombo's got it. Boy, Leitner got hammered and no whistle.
Oh, Mutombo got hammered on the putback.
Long bomb for Ryder. Short. Leitner control.
He might have gotten hit on the wrist on that one too, Bob.
I didn't see it.
No. So it's even.
Here's Smitty on a drive, and that's going to be a foul against Steve Smith. He wrapped himself around Anderson. Smitty had 18 when the Hawks beat Portland here at the Rose Garden last season. The early shooting.
Well, Smitty has his hands full right here with Cliff Robinson.
And they go right to the big man from the University of Connecticut. And if it's Leitner, it's his second, and it is.
Well, see, Leitner's a little low coming to give help. He has to realize that Steve Smith, a guard, is caught down low with the 6'10" Cliff Robinson. He's there just in time to give a little polite hack and get a cheap foul rather than coming down early with his body there and forcing Robinson to stay outside.
Cliff Robinson steps to the line. He's 8 of 10 at the stripe through 2 games. He's improved his shooting here in the first couple of ball games. Last year, Cliff was down at 42%, as you see. Ivano Newbill check in. Leitner with the 2 personals goes out. Robinson 48% the first 2 games at Vancouver and Seattle. 8 minutes to go. 7-6 Atlanta. We should point out that Alan Henderson is again out of the Atlanta lineup. Did not dress tonight. Still struggling with a bout from the flu. And that's a key man that the Hawks have been missing in the rotation.
Well, it certainly is. Ivano Newbill doing a good job of filling in, but Coach Lenny would like to have his second-year player, Alan Henderson, services. He's on the trip, but still not feeling well enough to play.
Mutombo missing the first of 2. Dikembe 9 of 12 at the foul line this season. The last foul on Sabonis. Second one up and in. Better rhythm on the shot that time from Mutombo. His 3rd point of the game. 8-6 Atlanta. Anderson drops it, picks it up. Blaylock trying to squeeze him off of the sideline and picks up the blocking foul.
Very, very difficult to apply full court pressure to Kenny Anderson. He's just one of those guards that has the ball on a string. It's like a natural part of his anatomy, and he can go wherever he wants to on the floor.
Wallace works against Newbill. Up top, Anderson. The 3. In and out. Corbin clears to Smitty.
Oh, nice screen.
And Mookie, a little short, over the rim board to Wallace. Ryder with some daylight. Gets his own miss, knocked away by Mutombo, picked up by Smitty.
Smitty has Sabonis. It's a one-on-one. They should clear it out and let him go to work. And they do.
Right around Sabonis, and he lays it in.
Oh, yeah. You know Steve Smith's going to have a little Motown shake for a 7'3" guy with a leg and a half out there. And he got no help, did Sabonis, and Smitty was able to turn and go to the basket.
6:50 left in the first quarter. Hawks by 4. Anderson. Robinson and Corbin fighting for position. And Mookie comes out of there with it. Up top to Mutombo.
Oh, yes!
For the slam.
What a beautiful pass, catch, and dunk. Mookie and Mutombo.
Boy, you talk about chemistry. Boy, there's some right there. Great look from Mookie. Perfect pass. And Mutombo with the stuff. And the Hawks lead it by 6.
Steve Smith has a fish out of water, has Sabonis about 20 feet from the hoop. Sabonis reaches and he says, I can take him, gives his little pet move, fake baseline, goes middle for an easy lay-in, uncontested for the deuce. Hawks showing a lot of trap and pressure, trying to get some turnovers out of this group.
Wallace's shot, Sabonis knocked it away, but it was, I'd say, last touch by Mutombo. Boy, it looked like Sabonis was the one who knocked it out of bounds.
That's one of those questions, Bob. You have to wonder if one of the officials didn't see it the correct way, and if the official did, why didn't he correct the other one or two?
Well, it's funny, Stinger, sitting here next to the Hawk bench, you haven't missed a call this season.
That's right. I won't miss one all year.
Lobbed into Robinson, but he pushed off to get it. Oh, 3-second violation. They held up 3. I thought it may have been a foul on Robinson, but instead just the 3-second violation. The turnovers so far, Atlanta's chopped them way down after what the club went through last weekend. Only 2 here in the first quarter, and take advantage of the Portland mistakes. Another opportunity to cash in here.
Well, Portland has 41 turnovers in their 2 ball games also, Bob, so they've had trouble controlling the basketball as well.
Mutombo knocked away. 8 seconds on the shot clock.
Mutombo still a little tentative, a little apprehensive about making his move. Has a very nice little hook shot, but needs to learn to shoot it a little quicker.
4, 3 to shoot. Smitty, bang!
Oh, yes, yes.
And that's a 3-pointer.
Nice execution. Smitty coming off the double and knocking down the jumper.
Hawks putting together a 9-0 run to lead at 15-6. Wallace blocked by Mutombo. Sabonis with the hook back, no. Rebound to the corner, and Mookie saves it ahead to Ivano. And here come the Hawks, leading by 9, trying to take it to double digits. Corbin measures Sabonis. Up top, Mookie. Shot clock at 10. Here's Blaylock off the Corbin screen for 3.
Beautiful rhythm jumper by Mookie, in control. Looked good on that one, feeling a little more confident now.
18-6 Atlanta. And there's Corbin to reach in and knock it away. Well, the Hawks active defensively. The offense is coming far and away. The best quarter the Hawks have played this year.
And I saw Cliff Robinson having words for Kenny Anderson saying, get me the ball a little earlier. I had the guy on my back. And those are the chemistry things that you talked about, knowing where and when to give him the ball, to which hand, how to get it to him. They're still ironing out the wrinkles.
And with 3 on the shot clock, in and out for Kenny Anderson. Newbill clears to Smitty. Ahead to the corner, Blaylock. Lets Anderson go by, but Kenny recovers quickly. Now Blaylock kicking out to Corbin. Ty down the lane. High archer is good. Ty Corbin has scored. All 5 Atlanta starters in the books. And it's now 20-6 Hawks. And a timeout for the Trailblazers. And it's going to be a full timeout. 4:17 left in the first. And the Hawks are scorching the Blazers in Portland's home opener.
So, you about ready for a whole new style of basketball? Your new Atlanta Hawks. For full or partial season ticket packages, call 827-DUNK.
It's a pick and roll. Mookie Blaylock penetrates, draws the defense, kicks off to Ty Corbin, who puts it down. And take a look at this finger roll, as George Gervin calls it, and gets it to go. over the front line of the Trailblazers.
Sabonis sweeps it in.
Sabonis is getting excellent position on Mutombo. Mutombo gives up position sometimes because he can usually block anybody's shot. But he's going to have to keep Sabonis a little bit further away from the basket, or he may have a little problem tonight.
Sabonis has got all 3 Portland field goals. 20-8 Atlanta. Newbill cross courts it. Blaylock up top to Smith. In and out. Sabonis clearing. Over to Anderson. 3:40 left in the first quarter. This Portland ball club won 44 games last year, dropped 38, and dropping it out of bounds was Rasheed Wallace. Now we've got a foul called on the Hawks on Newbill. Well, Rasheed Wallace was content to head up the other court thinking he turned it over.
Yes, he was. But he turns quickly and says, I'll take it.
So does P.J. Carlesimo. But the Blazers got blown out at Seattle Saturday, 104-93. Sabonis driving, shut off, loose in the lane, picked up by the big fella. Mutombo gets it out now to Ty Corbin. Over to Steve Smith. Goes in on Robinson. Try to behind the back, knocked away, gets it back. Shot clock at 10. Corbin drills it. Ty Corbin with 4.
Well, we said we needed some offense from our small forward, Ty Corbin, answering that call.
15-point lead stinger, the biggest of the night for the Hawks. Ryder's going to take it and hit it. That's a 3-pointer. Corbin. Robinson right on it, and Cliff with the push.
Well, I like the way Ty Corbin is playing, putting pressure on Cliff Robinson. Knows Cliff is not quick enough to guard him out on the floor. Ty's giving him a finger roll, he's giving him a jump shot, and he breaks the defense down that time and gets a foul.
That 3-pointer by Ryder a moment ago ends a Portland scoreless streak that lasted 4 minutes. Newbill able to get it out to Blaylock, and he's got an open look. Long jam follow from Mutombo.
Dikembe.
7 for Mutombo. 25-11 Hawks. John Barry up off the Atlanta bench. He'll check in when time allows. 2:04 left in the first. And Anderson lost it, but Sabonis picks it up. Dropped it to Rasheed, and he kicks it out of bounds.
Take a look at Dikembe. Mookie tries the 3-ball from the corner, doesn't go, and look, flying across the rim, Dikembe Mutombo slams it home.
John Barry hit a couple of threes for 6 points against the Pistons in the home opener Saturday. Comes in now for the Hawks. Steve Smith gets a breather. Corbin. High to Mutombo. Mookie with the shot clock under 10 gives the Newbill. Good ball movement here for the Hawks. Corbin takes it.
Yes.
The court. My goodness.
And he shot a beautiful jumper. The follow through was perfect.
Now Mookie with the steal. Corbin over to Barry. Spots up, gets closer, kicks it out to Blaylock. Hawks are going to reset it here as Barry from the top, choked off. Now inside it goes to Corbin. He's got the hot hand. Off the high glass and good. Ty Corbin with 9 first quarter points, and the Hawks look like world beaters. 30-11. What a great first quarter for Atlanta. And turning it over is McKee. Aaron McKee, the young man from Temple, commits the turnover. And P.J. Carlesimo looks in disgust with 1:03 to go in the first. 8 turnovers for the Blazers in the first quarter. A 23-5 Atlanta run. Corbin. Now John Barry works. Puts it up and off. May have been deflected. Rebound goes to Wallace, and there's a Newbill off the leg of Wallace. Atlanta ball.
Boy, you just have got to like Avano Newbill. I mean, he comes in, he plays hard, he doesn't take the bad shots, always willing to set a screen and go and get a rebound. That's the kind of teammate you like to have. Strong physical player, team player, gets the turnover for the Hawks.
Now Mookie. The popper. Got it.
Nice.
Mookie was 7.
I mean,
32-11.
I mean, that jumper Mookie shot hardly touched the bottom of the net. I mean, he is really in a comfort zone right now. Very confident shooting the jumper.
Aaron McKee fumbling it on the wing, but recovering. Now Wallace going in. It's up. It's good. First bucket for the former Tar Heel, Rasheed Wallace. Hawks take the final shot here.
Coach Lenny wants one play, wants the high pick and roll to see if Mutombo and Mookie can combine.
Barry cross courts it to Corbin. His shot's up and off. Rebound Portland. McKee has it. That's the end of the first quarter. But what a first quarter it was for Atlanta. Ty Corbin putting together a three-pointer and a great first quarter leads the Hawks to a 32-13 advantage. Hawks basketball from the Pacific Northwest, and boy, what a great opening quarter. Stinger, you talked earlier about the point production out of the three position, and Corbin comes through with a 10-point quarter and 2 threes.
See, that's a good hands, Bob, to catch that
Pretty
ball
good
there.
catch.
Yeah, but
and the headphones stayed on.
Right. But mentioning Ty Corbin, though, you know, truly a professional player, the epitome of a professional player, always prepared, always knows the game plan and executes it the way a coach wants it done. So he apparently has seen the need for more points from that production, and he stepped up tonight with an aggressive offensive first quarter.
Reggie Jordan, the former Hawk, is checked into the Trailblazer lineup. Here's McKee. He's in a double team. Hawks, and they get a 24-second clock violation. Boy, this Atlanta basketball team is excited. They are playing great at both ends.
They are, and the Trailblazer fans beginning to boo, and P.J. Carlesimo feeling a lot of heat from that. Of course, he had his troubles with Rod Strickland, and really a strict disciplinarian, sometimes a yeller, and has not gone over real well with the players here. And Portland fans, they would like to see a little more production than they're seeing right now, Bob.
Mookie got it again.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
another 3. Blaylock with 10. And the Hawks continue to pile it on. It's 35-13. Yeah, they call the PJ Generalissimo Carlissimo here in Portland. McKee kicks it out. Now Jordan, a whistle and a hand check on Blaylock. Second foul on Mookie. The turnover story, Atlanta is taking full advantage. Every time the Blazers have coughed it up, Atlanta has been able to cash in, and a lot of times with three-pointers. Another bad pass, this one from Aaron McKee. And now the Hawks have a chance to cash in once again off a Portland turnover. Steve Smith is in. Mookie Blaylock will get a rest. Terrific opening quarter from Mookie Blaylock. There's the three-pointers. Corbin's got 2 of those 5. Smitty matched up with Reggie Jordan. Back to Latham. Christian zips it over to Corbin. Good ball movement, too, for the Hawks tonight. Time a little long with this one, and McKee comes out of there with it. McKee racehorse end-to-end, and it's rejected by Corbin in the foul.
Well, Portland fans cheering, having something positive, somebody taking it to the basket, drawing a foul, as Ty Corbin has pretty good position, but commits this foul. Aaron McKee on the drive. Here's Ty Corbin going for the block. Blocked the basketball, but the body contact gives Ty Corbin the foul.
And Aaron McKee at the line. Third-year Aaron out of Temple. They've been trying to use him as a backup to Kenny Anderson at the point, but that experiment, I think, is coming to an end. He has really struggled out there. .30 remaining in the second. Corbin. Short this time. McKee. Bounce ahead to Robinson. Now getting a hand on it is Newbill. Dudley is checked into the game for Portland. And a hand check foul on Tyrone Corbin. It will be Ty's second. And coming into the ball game now for Atlanta, Willie Burton. Signed yesterday after Ken Norman was placed on the injured list. He comes in for Ty Corbin. Robinson. Boy, a lot of one-on-one for this Trailblazer team, and Burton picks up the foul. Coming up tonight after the game, a new way to look at sports. It's Fox Sports News. Live exclusive interviews from tonight's NBA games, plus in-depth analysis, scores, and highlights. It's everything you need to know home teams with a Fox attitude immediately after the Hawks and the Blazers. Clifford Robinson to the line. He's 2 of 2 at the stripe tonight. He had 22 opening night at Vancouver. Followed that with 17 Saturday in Seattle. Dikembe coming back in. And another great effort from Evando Newbill. Cliff Robinson had 25 against the Hawks in this building last year. He's got 4 so far tonight. And the Hawk lead is 35-17.
Reggie Jordan, undersized, guarding Steve Smith in the low post, and no double team on that move.
Outlet comes to McKee. McKee, nice move, but fly swatted out of there by Mutombo. Smitty to the breaking Burton, and he lays it home. Willie Burton's first point to the season.
Nice run out. You like to see your small forwards involved in fast breaks. Willie Burton cashes in off the Mutombo block. Burton has his hands full on this end and draws the offensive foul. So Willie Burton paying immediate dividends on both ends. Scores the layup on the fast break and draws an offensive foul against Cliff Robinson.
37-17 Atlanta. 9:14 left in the second. Hawks shooting 48%. Portland saddled with poor shooting and turnovers. And I would have to say, the Atlanta defense has been responsible for most of that. Hawks have been active at both ends. Ferries behind the back, sails past Smith. That turnover costing the Hawks a chance to add to the lead. Boy, Hawks really putting together a streak of 30-11. Moving in is Gary Trent, and Leitner picks up foul number 3. So immediately Lenny walks down to the end of the bench.
Well, again, Leitner has to realize he's got Mutombo behind him. Trent has better lateral movement, but you've got the big fella Mutombo in the hole. Don't commit that foul. Now he'll have to come out of the ball game now.
Yeah, and Newbill has to come back in. Gary Trent stepping up to the foul line for Portland. The 6'8" product of Ohio U. Boy, is this kid put together. Tremendous athletic makeup. Columbus, Ohio native. Puts in the free throw. His first of the ball game.
Bobby has great moves around the basket as you look at Evando Newbill getting into the ball game. Gary Trent, they used to call him the Shaq of the MAC because he was such a, in college, of that conference, the MAC conference, just a domineering, strong, overpowering inside player. But when you have Mutombo playing with you, you're not so much concerned about a 6'7" power player hurting you inside.
Gary Trent nails a book. 8:48 to play in the second. Hawks still with a healthy lead as Smitty comes ahead. Shot clock at 7.
Yes.
Steve Smith with 7. His first second quarter bucket. 39-19 Atlanta. McKee works on Berry. Now Jordan.
Excellent.
3 doesn't go. Inside follow, up and over by Wingfield. And Newbill fights for it, still loose in the lane. Wingfield's got it. And the outlet back up top to McKee.
These Blazer fans are waiting for anything to cheer for.
Oh, Smitty, and we've got a blocking foul. This one will be on John Barry. First on JB. Well, PJ trying to find a combination that clicks. He just placed Isaiah Ryder back in the lineup. Taking Jordan out. McKee playing with Wingfield, Dudley. McKee goes to the line. This one is up and in. And McKee's third point of the game. Gary Trent also out there for the Trailblazers. We've got 7:54 left in the first half. 39-20 Atlanta.
Well, part of the Blazers' problem, too, is when Kenny Anderson goes out of the ball game, he has no confidence in Randolph Childress, who's on the ball club, but they don't have a true point guard on the floor now. Aaron McKee, high scorer out of Temple, doesn't push the ball, doesn't create much from that point guard position.
Mutombo works on Dudley. And Dikembe puts it in.
Very nicely done.
9 from Mutombo.
Good to see Dikembe getting some looks, taking his time, shooting that hook shot.
Wingfield, low to Ryder, but a loose ball. Now JR comes out with it, pops the three. Little long, Perry jumps in to claim it. JB looks, finds Steve Smith. 4-3. Yes, sir. Smitty with 10, and the Hawks push it back to 23 at 44-21. McKee runs it down, gets a screen, fires up, and rolls it in. Aaron McKee's first field goal. He's got 6. It's 44-23 Atlanta.
Steve wants the high pick.
Willie Burton nails a three-pointer.
See, Willie Burton has that perimeter jump shot, can go outside and shoot the three, has the range.
And Portland is forced to burn another timeout. The Hawks have hit 7 of 12 from three-point range and lead it in Portland by 24. Blazers 23. Let's send it over to Dave Neal. Dave?
Norman already in Atlanta with a sore back. Alan Henderson made the trip out here yesterday on the plane coming to Portland. He did not look well, slept almost the entire way here. Well, he's still not feeling well with the flu. He is back in Atlanta. So the Hawks still a man short at the power forward / small forward spot. But right now they don't need him with the outside shooting that they're going on, leading right now 47-23.
Nice turnaround move for Gary Trent. His second bucket, he's got 4.
And Gary Trent is 13 of 16 from the field, shooting over 80%, Bob, leading the NBA. Oh, nice jumper. See, I would like to see a little more of those jump shots from John Barry. All of those Barry boys, so they're creative. They want to make the assist, make the pass, or be a playmaker and a shooter. But I'd like to see a little more shooting out of Barry. That was a very nice shot.
50-25 Atlanta. Biggest lead of the night for the Hawks. Dudley, and that's an offensive foul on Ryder as he decked Davano Newbill.
Well, John Barry paying dividends at both ends there, shooting the jump shot, and that time, excellent defensive position to take that charge.
The Atlanta Hawks shot just 30% from three-point range over the weekend. A much different story on this Monday night. 8 of 13 for 62. And Portland committing yet another turnover. That offensive foul by Ryder, the 13th Portland miscue. Here's Willie Burton. Into Mutombo.
Dudley, an excellent defensive player.
And Chris knocked it out of Mutombo's hands. He'll turn, shoot, miss. Out of bounds to, oh, they give the ball to Portland. That was knocked out by Trent. Kenny Anderson back in at the point for the Blazers. With Robinson and Dudley up front, Trent and Ryder. Tipped away, and they're going to call a foul on Steve Smith.
No, Smitty, no, Smitty.
Steve was upset. Willie Burton, longtime friend and former teammate in Miami, would not give him the ball, knowing that he's at a point when he could possibly pick up a technical foul. And Steve saying that, Cliff, now you know I didn't foul you, don't you? Take a look here. Here's Smitty wants the ball from Willie Burton. He says, Steve, no. You cool down a little bit first. We don't need you getting a tee. I know you.
The Portland Trail Blazers, and this is not a misprint, they are 10 of 10 at the line. This is a club that, well, there it goes. But this is a club that shot an NBA worst 66% at the line last season. They were 67-9 coming in. Robinson hits 1 out of 2. 50-26 Atlanta. Newbill. And there's a hand check foul on Trent. Gary had a little something to say to Ron Olziak. Trent's first foul. Mookie Blaylock back in for the Hawks with Mutombo, Newbill, Burton, and Smitty. And here's Steve backing in on Ryder, and that's a travel. Kenny Anderson brings it up. Well, with all the changes Portland made to Stinger, they are a lot younger ball club. Here's a hook shot by Trent. Rebound to Newbill. Smitty kicks back, intercepted by Dudley, and a travel on Ryder as Blaylock got in the way. Well, the quick feet of Blaylock. He got in the way of Ryder and forced the travel. Well,
Mookie is so good at anticipating where the ball is coming and what the offensive player wants to do. He was able to get there and cause that problem.
Smith. He got fouled, and a technical foul on Smith. Boy, he thought he got fouled, and he's really hot. And Mutombo has to wrap him up and keep him away from Joe Forte. Smitty, it looked like he was lassoed on his way to the bucket. Didn't get a whistle, and he was very upset and draws the technical.
Well, he's been a little frustrated on a couple of times with the calls, and it's cooled down enough now to talk comfortably. As you take a look here, as he feels his arm is being held, does not get the call, and then gets that call for a technical foul.
Kenny Anderson hitting the technical free throw to make it 50-27. And Sabonis getting it in now to Kenny Anderson. Shot clock under 10 as Ryder lopes into the lane. That was blocked.
Oh, Mutombo's everywhere.
His fourth block, Smitty. And we've got an elbowing foul on Trent. Second personal on Gary Trent. The Hawks have hit 8 3-pointers in this first half tonight. And the Atlanta record for threes in one half is 9. That was set against the Pacers last season. On the drive by Burton.
See, Burton showing you his versatility there too, Bob. He shot a couple of nice long jump shots. That time he turns the corner, goes strongly to the basket, and gets a foul.
And this is the ability that we were talking about earlier, Stinger. He can get to the foul line.
Yes, he can.
Create with that soft jump shot. He can also put it on the deck and go to the holes.
Tough person to guard.
That reminds me of the old story of Jimmy Valvano when he was coaching at NC State. Football coach walks into practice one day. He said, "Coach, I don't know much about basketball, but if I were you, I'd recruit players that are hard to guard."
That was good advice. Really,
it always works.
Yes.
Kenny Anderson starts to drive. Underneath, high archer for Trent. Nice. Gary was 6.
And Anderson with a nice little shovel pass, and Trent converts it.
Blaylock to the bucket, in and out. Some tough luck as Anderson races it ahead. Kenny inside Trent, outside Robinson for 3. 52-32. The Atlanta lead is at 20 with 3:05 to go in the second quarter. Inside Smitty. Fouled by Ryder. Second on Isaiah. And Atlanta takes time. 2:56 remaining in the second quarter, and still the Hawks lead it by 20. The Hawks continue to lead the Blazers big here in Portland. 52-32, 2:56 left in the second. Don't forget SEC TV Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. Join your host Dave Neal. And this week live on location from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Have an interview with Gene Stallings. Meet the defending NCAA gymnastics champions of the Crimson Tide. Saturday mornings at 10 on SportsCenter. To the line, Mr. Smith. And that's his 11th point. Smitty now 10 of 12 at the line this season. Coming off that 23-point game against the Pistons Saturday night in Atlanta. He's got a dozen. Lenny Wilkins and the Hawks up by 22. Under 3 to play in the second.
Coach Lenny wants more pressure, too, saying, stay up, Willie.
Cross court to Trent, nearly picked off by Smith. Trent takes it and hits it.
Boy, you got to love Gary Trent, though. Plays so much under control and makes good decisions. Decided that time to stay outside of the lane and don't enter into the house of Mutombo and knock down the jumper.
8 second quarter points for Trent. Loose ball picked up by Gary Trent. Baseballs it ahead to Ryder. In on Smith. (54-36) with 2:18 in the second. Blaylock. Into Mutombo and poked away by Sabonis, and a foul on Sabonis. Second on Arvidas. That will put Dikembe Mutombo on the line for the second time tonight. He starts this game with 1,500 career blocks. And Mutombo so far tonight has blocked 4. Reaching double figures for the first time as a Hawk with 10. And gets them both.
Doing a good job shooting his free throws, too, Bob. I didn't want to say that until after that second free throw was made, but doing a good job thus far.
3 of 4 tonight. 12 of 15 for the season. Hawks by 20. Shot clock 4-3. Anderson swings it to Robinson. Mookie way ahead on the break out to Corbin. He controls it and puts it home.
Excellent job of running out again. Ty Corbin contesting the shot and running the floor. No need of being a 20-foot rebounder. Go on and run the floor.
Sabonis backs in, and that's a travel. Another turnover for the Portland Trail Blazers. And that raises the total for P.J. Carlesimo to 15. 58-36 Atlanta. Corbin. Loose. Picked up by Ryder. Mutombo runs the floor well to get back. And is able to clog things up in the middle, although Kenny Anderson comes out with it. Boy, I'd love to see the big fella on the floor.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Kenny tries to go in. Does. He snuck it off the window.
He did. Nice job by Kenny on that one to work his way around Mookie and Dikembe.
Anderson with his first field goal. Under a minute to play here in the second quarter. Dave Neal will be joining us at halftime. 58-38. Here's Smitty. Again matched against Isaiah Ryder. Leans in. Hits it.
Nice job. Steve Smith in a nice little zone also.
14 for Smitty. The Hawks have 4 players in double figures here in the first half. They had only 2 in double figures the entire game Saturday against the Pistons. But what a difference 2 days makes. Anderson out to Ryder. JR in strong.
Oh, yeah.
Double clutch to pull it away from Mutombo. Loose ball, and Anderson steals it at midcourt. Kenny going in. Out to Ryder. At the buzzer. Short, and the first half is history. The Hawks built a 19-point lead after one, and they head to the locker room 20 ahead. At the Rose Garden in Portland, we come to the break with a score. The Hawks 60 and the Trail Blazers 40. In the first half, 8 3-pointers and 54% shooting. The Trailblazers coughed it up 15 times, and Atlanta was able to score 21 points off those turnovers. And the breakouts, the running game, the easy baskets, the transition, really working well for the Hawks in the first half of play. Here's an example. You'll see as the shot goes up here for the Trailblazers, watch Mookie get this rebound and an immediate outlet to Ty Corbin.
Well, you like to see your small forwards leaking out on occasions. They have to anticipate when they're not involved in the rebounding, they have to run the floor and convert points. Good to see Ty Corbin involved in some of those fast breaks, as well as Willie Burton.
Let's look at the scoring leaders. Cliff Robinson and Gary Trent each with 8. Portland had 13 field goals and 12 free throws in that first half. Smitty leading the way for the Hawks. So here we go with quarter number 3, and the Trailblazers have the ball to start this second half. Isaiah Ryder gets it into Cliff Robinson. Mutombo fouled it. And that's the first foul on Dikembe. Hawks start the second half with Blaylock and Smitty, Mutombo, Corbin, and Leitner. Sabonis, Wallace, Robinson, Anderson, and Ryder out there for the Trailblazers.
Cliff Robinson had 8 points in the first half, only 1 of 4 from the field, however, and changes over to the red headband. You know, he has those 3 headbands. He has a black one, a red one, and a white one, so he's going to try this red one and see if the team can't have a little better success than they had in the first half.
They go 1 of 2 at the line, but Robinson ends up with it, and it's an offensive foul on Cliff for the hook. He got Leitner out of the way and picks up his 4th foul, and immediately PJ goes to the bench to get Gary Trent.
Just when the headband was beginning to work for him, it went sour on him, and he gets a 4th foul.
Christian Leitner with Rasheed Wallace on him, and that's an offensive foul on Leitner. But Christian was able to play in that first half only 4. The first quarter he only played 4 minutes. In the half he only played 7. And settled now with his 4th personal foul and back to the bench. Or is he going to go to the bench? Let's see, Lenny.
Yeah, they had to get a new 24-second clock. No, I don't think they're going to allow the substitution.
Now Newbill coming to the table, and they're going to talk it over here. Scott Foster, the official, is at the table, and we'll see if indeed Newbill is indeed allowed to come in. There's also a question of the reset of the clock.
Yeah, they reset the clock, and that was the problem that caused the delay, so they're not going to let him out. Yeah, yes, they are. They're going to let him come in now. Even though technical mistake allowed him to get in the ball game.
Just underway. Start of the 3rd quarter. Hawks by 19. As Kenny Anderson brings it up. Ryder jumps in and knocked away.
I mean, the chemistry, the coordination, the timing, just really pretty bad for the Pacers, Bob.
Here is a bad pass by Mookie around Newbill and out of bounds. 60-41 Atlanta. Anderson hits the 3. Yeah, this big crowd, it's opening night here in Portland, and you figure Portland's going to put a run together. Right. Corbin into Newbill. Ivano turns, fires, and that's a travel.
Bono still working on his low post moves, not real comfortable shooting that fadeaway jump shot. Took the little steps. But the Hawks can't afford to get tentative here. You have playing with a 20-point lead is a very difficult thing to do because you get comfortable and you lose that aggressiveness. But your idea has to be, let's blow this out to 40.
Anderson way short. Mutombo claims it. Now Mookie brings it ahead. Back-to-back games to start the trip here for the Hawks. Will be in Seattle tomorrow. Mookie for 3. Gets it. Mookie Blaylock hits the Hawks' 9th three-pointer of the ball game. Mookie's got 3 of them. 63-44. Trent. Lob into Sabonis.
Sabonis an excellent passer.
And an illegal defense called against Atlanta. And it's on Ty Corbin.
Coach Lenny telling Ty Corbin he wants him to wait till he puts it on the floor and then come down and double team.
And Mookie trying to sneak it on Anderson.
Sabonis an excellent passer, maybe the best passing center in the NBA.
And a nice scoop shot. 8 points for Sabonis. 63-46. Corbin. Newbill can't control it. Into the hands of Anderson. Lobs it ahead to Rasheed Wallace. Goes in on Mutombo. Spin move into Kembe. That's goaltending. Rasheed Wallace with his second hoop. Take another look.
Let's take a look. Pretty decent move by Rasheed. Question is, did Dikembe get it on the way up or was it on the way down? Over the cylinder, possibly. If it's still going up, it's not over the cylinder, but close enough for a call, I guess.
Smith. Tipped out. And the Hawks have it with 7 seconds to shoot. Steve got caught in the lane that time with nowhere to go. Smith puts it up and off. Mutombo fights for it, but Sabonis outlets to Trent. Corbin is back. Gary's going to take it up and lost it. Blaylock comes out with it. Hawks running 3-on-3.
Ty Corbin got a hand on that to slap it away.
Mookie gets the screen. Now Corbin barrels into the lane, puts it up short and draws the foul. Sabonis with his 3rd.
Well, Ty Corbin has missed a couple of long jump shots, decides this time to take it to the basket and get some contact to get to the free throw line, so he'll get to shoot a couple.
12 points for Corbin. Ty had 10 in the first 2 games combined. And the soft touch of the line. He's 3 of 3 at the stripe this season.
Ty Corbin
with 13.
Into his 12th season, and I talked to him about that. Coming out of DePaul, the 35th player picked in the draft, said, I didn't even know I was going to play 1 year in the NBA. But that's you can really attribute that to his professionalism and hard work. He's really studied and improved himself and knows how to get along and help a team to win.
And he's a great favorite of Coach Wilkins. He's coached him twice in Atlanta and once in Cleveland. Quick hands by Smitty. Shot clock at 4. Ryder again. Smith got a hand on it. Wallace misses the buzzer beater. Sabonis out to Anderson. Coming up on 8 minutes to go in the 3rd. Ryder and a near steal by Blaylock. Ryder gets it back. Shot clock at 3. Inside for the slam by Rasheed. Well, it looked like the Hawks were going to take it away 2 or 3 times.
That wasn't a pretty play they ran that time, but they got the 2.
Blaylock comes right back with another 3-pointer.
Hawks just keeping the pressure on both ends, defensively and offensively as well, knocking down some long jumpers.
68-50 Atlanta. Anderson up top, Sabonis for 3. And Corbin's with the rebound. Here's Blaylock. Smitty inside to Kembe. Nice fake. Too long with the jam as Wallace came over to give help. Ryder. Long. Wallace the board. Keeps it away from Mookie. Anderson carries the 3. Kenny with 9. 68-53. Hawks by 15.
Mookie Blaylock shouting some instructions about blocking out to some of the front court players of the Hawks.
Corbin guarded by Wallace. Down the lane, Sabonis knocks it away. Blazers running 2-on-2. Down to Trent. Left it short. Rebound Mutombo. And Dikembe keeps his balance, and Trent on his back. Good grief, get a saddle.
Exactly.
6:21 left in the third and a timeout here in Portland.
Stop by to visit Shaq and the Kid. Just you watch. Hawks versus Lakers. Right after the Advance Auto Parts warm-up show live Sunday night on Sports South.
Hawks lead it by 15. Coming up Saturday, college football on Sports South as Texas meets Texas Tech at 7 Eastern, and then USC and Stanford at 10:15. Live this Saturday on Sports South. Mookie Blaylock struggled in those first 2 games, but tonight a much different story. Mookie's hit 4 3-pointers. He scored 16 and looks like the Mookie Blaylock of old tonight.
Yeah, he's giving good leadership too, Bob. Yelling to his teammates, giving instructions. He sets a pace and a tempo for this ball club with his aggressiveness, his leadership. He's a good leader for the ball club, and good to see him having a good night offensively as well.
Here's Smitty on the cut to Blaylock. Off balance.
Oh, not that one,
carries
Mookie.
it. Not
that one. When he gets that one to go, he's really on a roll. I mean, that one was a leg kick off balance. Please go in, and it did.
Smith being fronted by Ryder. And now it's going to be kicked in a reset. Boy, Smitty really trying to fight around Ryder that time. And Smitty very active defensively. Here's Trent with the inbounds. Anderson finds Trent on the baseline. Shut off inside. Sabonis in big traffic. They play volleyball with it. Newbill's got it. Out to Smitty. 3-on-3. Left wing Blaylock. Up top Smith. Sensed Sabonis behind him. And now we've got a whistle. And we've got a hand check foul on Ryder. His third. Boy, a big break for the Hawks. They were still waiting for Dikembe to come down.
Yes.
5:23 left in the third. Mutombo over to Corbin. Ty drives in. That's swatted out of there by Wallace. 15 seconds on the shot.
Well, that's the big front line. Rasheed Wallace can block some shots, as can Sabonis.
Hawks led by 20 at halftime. They are up 17 as Atlanta takes the time with 5:17 to play in the third quarter. So the Hawks have been able to keep Portland at arm's length, and they still enjoy a healthy lead here in the Pacific Northwest. Hawks 70, Blazers 53. Dikembe working against Sabonis. And the hook is short. Boy, Wallace runs the floor well for a big guy, 6'10".
Oh, was a hurler, I think, in high school.
Yeah.
One of the best in the Philadelphia area.
Yeah. Absolutely. Another Blazer turnover. There has been a trade in the NBA. Dave Neal has information. We'll be going to him when time allows. 4:45 remaining in the third. Smitty.
Oh, what a nice pick by Newbill. Smitty couldn't get that jumper to go.
Gary Trent draws Corbin. 9 to shoot. Trent inside. Nothing doing, says Dikembe.
You knew it was going to happen. Sooner or later, Trent would come in there and Dikembe would erase it.
His 5th block tonight.
That's Mutombo. What an impact he has. Take a look. Trent, high percentage scorer, gets in the lane, and that's the house of Mutombo.
And Trent got hit on the noggin.
Right, yeah, 0 for 2 on that one, huh?
A brick claimed by Mutombo. Dikembe's 7th rebound of the night. 70-53 Hawks.
Mookie missed Devano Newbill on the pick and roll.
Smith.
Beautiful.
Steve with 17. That's his 3rd three-pointer. The Hawks now with 11 threes tonight. The club record is 14. Well, it's been that kind of a night. Everything has gone Atlanta's way. And right from the opening tip. 3-second violation against Portland.
Credit Tyrone Corbin for playing front side, backside, hustling across the top, and denying that pass to Gary Trent until a 3-second call was made.
Robinson returns. And Dudley is in. Trent and Sabonis go out for Portland. Smitty, lob in to Mutombo. Dikembe going up, tried it with the right hand. Robinson clears. Out to McKee, back to Anderson. Kenny down the lane, and draws the foul.
Oh, Steve Smith bailed him out again because Dikembe had the right of way for that block.
3rd foul on Smitty. We talked about that NBA trade. Let's get the latest from Dave Neal.
Exactly, Bob. There was a trade that just came down. Vincent Askew of New Jersey heads to Indiana. He replaces Reggie Williams, both those players. This is their 2nd team. They both moved in the offseason, so their bags are packed. Reggie Williams, Vincent Askew, they trade places in the NBA. And Stinger, to you, what does that mean to both those clubs?
Well, I'll tell you, it helps the Indiana Pacers because Vincent Askew is a 235-pound defensive player who can also play multiple positions. So I think Larry Brown has strengthened his hand. He was not using Reggie Williams at all. Calipari must have had a situation in Jersey where he couldn't get along well with Vincent Askew. And I guess this is why the trade was made, and he just wanted to clear some room. Williams.
I think Calipari ran him out of practice last week.
Yeah, I heard something to that effect as well.
3 minutes to go in the 3rd. Here's Corbin down the lane. Nice dish, but Newbill just couldn't hang on to it. 2:57 to play. 19-point lead for the Hawks. Anderson over now to Robinson. McKee couldn't handle it. Smitty comes up with it over to Corbin. Hawks running ahead to the Mookster. Dudley got a hand on that. Why wasn't that goaltending? Boy, Lenny Wilkins can't believe it. Outside for a 3-pointer for McKee.
Coach Lenny not pleased with that explanation.
Here's Smith. Turning, firing, hitting.
Oh, yes. I mean, every time the Trailblazers get a little momentum, the Hawks guards, either Smith or Mookie, come back with just a long jumper that just takes the wind right out of their sails, Bob.
75-57. That's a great point you made earlier, Stinger, about getting a big lead. It's great to have, but
yes,
boy, sometimes it's tough, especially in the other guys' building. You figure they're going to make a run.
Absolutely.
Before the night is through.
Yes.
Corbin with his 3rd foul.
And I tell you, the thing that has kept the Blazers from making a run, we mentioned the long jumpers, but the defense has been so consistent. Ty Corbin has denied passes. They're battling, slapping the ball away. There's no continuity with the Trailblazers offense, and most of that is due to the good defense the Hawks are playing.
John Barry has checked back into the Hawks lineup. JB hit a 3 in the 2nd quarter. During that impressive Atlanta streak, where they built a 20-point halftime lead. Wallace gets it to drop.
Wallace is good on that block. On the left block, shooting the turnaround jumper to the baseline. Shot that well at Carolina and should shoot that a little more in the NBA.
John Barry.
See, that's the playmaker Barry. He has to curl off that and shoot the jumper.
Here's McKee, and Mookie breaks it up. Still loose. Newbill's got it. Barry fights for it.
Yes.
And over to
Yes.
Mook, and a foul on Dudley.
2 scramblers from Tech on the floor. Barry and Newbill.
Boy, look at this effort for the Hawks.
Take a look here as Mookie gets a hand on the basketball, and look at Ivano Newbill, the first one to go on the floor. And keep an eye as you see John Barry going to the floor as well, and it's Hawks basketball. Rambling Scramblers from Tech.
75-59 Atlanta. And the Trailblazers are getting wrecked. Here's Corbin. In and out. Isaiah Ryder. Aaron McKee takes Barry inside, and John is able to poke it away, and Mookie completes the steal. Another great effort from JB. Blaylock needs help. Finds it in Mutombo. Hawks set it with 12 on the clock. Barry coming off the screen. Wallace in a mismatch. Jumps it over to Blaylock. 5 to shoot. Mookie down the lane. The floater goes. 20 for Mookie. Far and away his best performance of the still young season. Final seconds of the third. Hawks by 18. 10 left of the quarter. McKee to Ryder, missing the three. Robinson the offensive rebound. That's not free. Mutombo claims it, and that's the end of the third quarter. 77-59 Atlanta as we head to the final 12 minutes. And John Barry keeping the pot boiling for the Hawks defensively with great effort. Clock at a 10-point third quarter. He now has 20 points for the game, but always Stinger rock solid defensively. Number 2 behind Gary Payton in steals in the NBA as we take a look at the NBA Eagle leaders from a year ago in steals. And of course, Mookie and Payton will match defensive skills tomorrow night at the Key Arena. Barry.
A pretty good look on that. Couldn't quite get the trajectory from his leg strength, but I'd like to see Barry looking for a shot a little bit more often.
And JB is able to steal it and save it. Boy, every time you think the Blazers have a little opportunity, the Hawks are there with the D to slam the door. Portland has committed 25 turnovers and a very active Hawks defensive club tonight. The Hawks have come up with 9 steals in that 25 turnover night for Portland. Blaylock. Not this time. Robinson rebound. Aaron McKee working on John Barry. Christian Laettner back in the ball game for the Hawks to start the fourth quarter. Robinson goes in, blocked, and a foul on Mutombo. Second foul on Dikembe.
Dikembe Mutombo did a good job of coming from high to give help on this lob pass. I mean, he gets here quickly. He has to come from an isolated position, and Cliff Robinson had to move that basketball around to prevent Dikembe from getting another easy block.
Robinson missing the front end of the 2 free throws. Portland hit its first 10 at the line tonight. They've missed now 5 of their last 9. Here's Corbin. Laettner. Christian pumps, misses. Trent. And Barry's there again and saves it. Trent, that's a travel, you bet.
Absolutely.
Boy, John Barry's everywhere.
And anytime you make a move defensively, Mookie Blaylock will always be there to help you. So I think he's finding another ally, Mookie and John Barry. Take a look here. Here's the jump hook that Christian can't quite get this one to go. Now look at this hustle play by John Barry. And he saves it, and Mookie Blaylock is there to help him out to complete the turnover.
Leitner again working on Trent. Oh, he's hard to move. Blaylock had it poked away, gets it back. Thank you very much.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you very much. 22, everything going the Hawks' way. 79-59. Here's Trent trying to spin on Newbill. Back at Robinson for 3. John Barry the rebound. Mookie. Back to Barry, and John's going to call the play.
Trying to free up Mookie on the baseline.
Leitner, 5 to shoot, 4. Christian pumps, misses. Here's Newbill, and Ivano kicks it out, and Hawks will burn another 24.
Leitner will get another look at it. No.
Not this time, but Dudley couldn't hang on to it. Hawks ball.
Ivano walking a little gingerly as though he may have hurt an ankle or a knee a little bit. And 2 new Hawks come in, and Mookie and Tyrone get a break.
Burton and Smith return. Boy, this sellout crowd of 21,567 has not had much to cheer about. Anderson waits for Barry, puts it in, and John fouls.
Oh, what a veteran move. Kenny Anderson just made a beautiful move. Here, Kenny Anderson just slows himself, finds the path of John Barry, moves over slightly, takes the contact, and converts it. Excellent play by Kenny Anderson.
2 brilliant seasons at Georgia Tech and then on to the NBA. Hard to believe he's already played 6 years in the league.
It certainly is.
13 points for Kenny. 8:42 is the time remaining. 79-62, the Hawk lead stands at 17. The biggest spread of the night, 25. This one blocked by Robinson, but Newbill's got it. This blocked by Dudley. Chris saves it. Kenny Anderson brings it ahead. Robinson and a foul. And this one will go against Newbill. Ivano's second. Portland ball at side court. 8:13 to play. 79-62 Atlanta. Wallace and Newbill going at it on the low block.
Absolutely.
Ryder. Under 10 on the clock. JR. Misses, and there's Dudley to stuff it in. Chris Dudley's first bucket. And it's a 15-point ball game.
Well, anytime Mutombo's out of the ball game, the whole complexion of the game changes. Keep in mind, Portland, always a good rebounding ball club. Out-rebounded the Grizzlies by 27 the other night. As Willie Burton draws a foul by taking the ball to the basket.
John Clifford Robinson, it's his 5th. That'll send Burton to the line as Mookie Blaylock and Dikembe Mutombo come back in. John Barry and Ivano Newbill go out of the game. Willie Burton had a 6-point second quarter tonight. If you're just joining us tonight, Willie signed yesterday and came with the ball club from Atlanta to Portland after Ken Norman was placed on the injured list. Played in 4 of the Hawks' 8 exhibition games. 81-64 Hawks.
Hawks showing some pressure and getting the ball away from Kenny Anderson. Making Ryder be the playmaker.
Shot clock at 5. Robinson blocked by Mutombo. Leitner rebounds, outlets to Smith. big fella's having a great night here at the Rose Garden.
It certainly is.
Now let's see if he can do anything with it offensively. Is he going to take the shot? He's got Dudley measured. Little long. .6:45 remaining. 4 Blazers outside the ring. Robinson missing. Blaylock saves it. He stepped down the sideline, going out of bounds. The Hawk hustle has been a constant. Lenny Wilkins' club took this game by the throat early, and they lead it 81-64. Timeout at the Garden. 64 midway through the 4th. Coming up, our next TV game tomorrow night on WB36 when the Hawks journey up to Seattle to take on the Sonics at 10 Eastern Time. Our next game on Sports South will be from the Forum in Los Angeles on Sunday. The Hawks meet Shaq and the Lakers. That's at 9:30. And before the game, be sure to watch the Advance Auto Parts warm-up show beginning at 9 p.m. Sunday from the Great Western Forum. Along with Dave Neal, the Stinger Mike Glenn, Bob Rathman, happy to have you with us in a Hawk lead that currently stands at 81-64 in the 4th. Mookie came over quickly, and he nearly took another one away, trying to bounce it off the leg.
Mookie has been everywhere on the perimeter tonight, and Dikembe has been everywhere on the interior.
Ryder operates, Banks hits. Isaiah with 9.
Ryder can make tough shots, but as a defensive player and a defensive team, you want to force him to make tough shots. Don't give him easy shots. Keep his percentage low.
Smitty, he scored 19 tonight. Leitner, not much playing time due to foul difficulty. Banks this one in. Christian with 5. 83-66.
Good defensive job on this strong side.
Anderson.
Excellent.
Burton rebounds. And Dudley fouls him. Well, the man from Yale had a tough night tonight. .83-66 Hawks. Over to Leitner. Dudley outlets to Anderson. This Portland club has made 14 straight playoff appearances, the longest streak of any current NBA team. You think about them getting waxed, however, you think back to that Game 5 against Utah last year. The Jazz just destroyed them. They took a licking at Seattle Saturday, and the Hawks are ruining their home opener tonight. Kenny smothered and fouled.
Well, it's very apparent, Bob, that the Blazers still don't have an identity. They still don't know how they're going to play, where their points and shots are going to come from, if they're going to run or be a half-court ball club. So they're still learning each other, learning how to play together, learning how to be effective and how to utilize a lot of talent, because there are some talented players out here, but they have to learn to play together.
And these fans are not used to losing.
No.
At home. They love their Blazers. And last year, Portland lost 15 games here at the Rose Garden. They lost that many only once in the last 15 years at the old building right next door, Memorial Coliseum.
Well, when you consider that they're 3rd or 4th in the NBA in attendance year in and year out, over 20,000 plus here tonight, and it's a small city. So it's really remarkable that they get this kind of support and attention, and they want to see some good basketball. They're accustomed to it. They deserve it.
Kenny Anderson, the only Blazer in double figures tonight with 14. 4.5 to play, and many of the 20,000 heading to the exits. Leighton out of Smith. Underneath Mutombo. The Dikembe. Trent comes to double, and
yes, good job.
nice roll to the bucket for Dikembe.
Good to see Dikembe getting some looks at the basket, trying his hook shot. That time his drop step, getting some success. It's good to see the big fella part of your offense, Bob. It always gives you that energy to play a little better defense when you can score a few points every now and then.
Robinson gathers. Tip no, and Laettner is fouled. A loose ball foul against Robinson. Or is it against Clifford? If it is, it's his sixth. We'll see.
Very frustrating evening for Cliff Robinson.
Yep, it is on Clifford, and he's fouled out of the game. With 3:47 left. (85-67) Atlanta. Robinson to the bench with 9 points and 5 rebounds. Antonio Winfield, the Cincinnati product, back in for the Blazers.
From Albany, Georgia, Antonio Winfield, trying to establish himself as an NBA player.
Again, it's Mutombo. Smitty.
Oh, in and out.
Gary Trent with his fourth. NBA final just heading to us. The only other game in the league tonight, Houston has won in Utah. And a low-scoring game. Houston 75 and the Jazz 72. Hakeem Olajuwon leading the Rockets with 23. Karl Malone had 16 points in a losing cause for the Jazz. Smith missing him. It's 85-67 Atlanta. 3:18 left. Nice slap away, but Anderson recovers. Ryder. Dudley. Got it. Chris Dudley with 4. 85-69.
Steve Smith wants to post up on Ryder.
JR now will bring it ahead with 2:45 to play. The Hawks jumped off to leads of 12-6, 20-6, and 32-13 at the end of one, and have not looked back. A timeout at the Rose Garden with 2:36 to play, and Atlanta in control, 85-69. (85-69) Atlanta leading Portland with 2:36 to play. The regular season record low point total for the Blazers is 72. And you would think in the next 2:30 they'd score 4 points, but boy, it has underscored the defensive effort for the Hawks tonight. Bird rejected out of bounds by Dudley. The lowest point total for the franchise came in that playoff game at Utah that we referred to earlier. The Jazz beat them 102-64 last April in Game 5. Priest Lauderdale gets a few minutes here. He played 3 minutes in his pro debut against the Pistons on Saturday at the Omni. Barry right to the bucket.
Nicely executed out of bounds play. All coaches like to see their diagrammed plays work well on an out of bounds situation.
Eldridge Rakasner has checked in for Mookie. And Donnie Boyce is going to get his first playing time of the season on the next dead ball. Ryder for 3, hits it. Isaiah with a dozen. 87-72. Last season, the Atlanta Hawks held the opposition under 100 47 times. And they won 35 of those games. This will mark the 3rd straight game that the Hawks opponents have been under 100 in this new 96-97 campaign. Winfield. Controlled by Dudley. And that's going to be a backcourt violation. Wingfield's just going to let it go out of bounds. 1:22 left. Coming up immediately following the Hawks and Blazers, stay tuned for live exclusive interviews from tonight's NBA games, plus in-depth analysis, scores, and highlights from around the league. Everything you need to know on Fox Sports News coming up right after our game here in Portland. Here's Donnie Boyce. This one tipped and taken away by Portland. Boyce, the young man, coming back after the broken leg suffered at the University of Colorado. Corbin fouled by Jordan. Reggie's first. So the Hawks 63 seconds away from nailing down victory number 1.
And Willie Burton has to have some satisfaction from his effort tonight, trying to earn some playing time at that small forward position. Has played well tonight when called upon.
Willie Burton with 9 points. 28 years old, out of the University of Minnesota. Here's Lauderdale, offensive step back and jam.
With the slam dunk for the big fella.
His first NBA field goal, and Lauderdale.
He just barely left the ground and slam dunked that one home, but it was enough.
Three-pointer for Wingfield. 90-75, under a minute to play. Boy, the Hawks started this road trip looking down the barrel of 4 games out west, Stinger, and coming in 0-2. This is huge.
It is. It's big. It gives your team a little confidence and ability to pursue this West Coast trip with some ideas that you can bring home a few victories, because it's a tough trip when you look at any time you're on the road, but you're playing the Lakers and, of course, Seattle. So it's a tough road trip for them. So a very good win for this ball club.
Burton in double figures. 92-75. Hawks are unbeaten in this building. Won here last year. Dudley, fouled by Lauderdale. 27.5 remaining. Priest Lauderdale, a young man from the south side of Chicago. Chris Dudley, now in his 10th year at the league. It's always an adventure when Dudley steps up. Just a little long.
Yes.
Stinger, you would like to help this boy.
I tell you, I've not been able to really understand how anybody can shoot free throws so poorly for so long, but some guys just, I mean, the form is usually awful, as his is. But still.
That's usually a pretty good start when you can't hit them.
Yes, I guess.
You got bad form.
Yeah, that is. That's a big part of it. Priest has pretty nice moves on that low post.
Oh, and a nice pass to Donnie Boyce.
Yes.
Oh, the big fella.
Yes. You know, I'm really excited about seeing this young man's development. Take a look at him here, and look at this nice pass. That's an excellent pass. You get a big fella that has a nice touch around the basket and get him passing the ball out of double teams well. You have something very good in the making, and he has a good mentor now in Dikembe Mutombo.
Well, just the fact that he can go against Mutombo in practice on a daily basis is going to advance his learning curve considerably.
It certainly will, and as a human being as well as a basketball player, it's just excellent to play with a good role model like Dikembe, and I think Priest is going to be just fine. Thank you.
Donnie Boyce puts his name in the scorecard. His first 2 points of the season. Final seconds in Portland, 94-76 Hawks. Wingfield takes it, misses it. That's the ball game. Atlanta comes to Portland and wins its first of the 96-97 season. Atlanta 94 and Portland 76. Tonight's Gatorade player of the game is Mookie Blaylock. dominating at the point tonight, 8 of 13, and Mookie tonight hit 4 3-pointers for 22 points, and he also had 5 assists. We'll be back with more from the Rose Garden, and it's a rosy night for the Hawks as they win at 94-76.